Hi guys, welcome back to Car Chat. Today we're going to be talking about Chrono Trigger. As you can see right here, I am up to where the Black Omen is. And I gotta say, there's something funny about Chrono Trigger, okay? That Chrono Trigger is always one of these games where I have never beaten it. Which is odd, because at a certain point in the game, and like where I am right now, I could easily just hit this button here and go to the ending. And I already have the time machine up, and I can literally just skip to the end of the game at any time. And yet, for some reason, I don't ever want to finish Chrono Trigger. And I don't understand why. Like, I do play it, and I've gone through it multiple times now, and I always hit the Black Omen, and then it becomes the Black Dream, and I just stop. And I don't know why I do that. I hit this point where the game becomes open world, lets you go anywhere and do various things. Well, I mean, I guess first maybe I should introduce you guys to what Chrono Trigger is in the first place. Chrono Trigger is a old school, and we're talking about old school RPG. It has a lot of elements of, like, how can I even express it? It's like if Dragon Ball and Final Fantasy had a child, that's kind of what Chrono Trigger is. But yet, Chrono Trigger has a lot more heart. Is that the right way to put it? It's not like cut out of a template. And it's not afraid to be a silly story. Hey, here's the graphics to give you guys an idea on here. See it? Cool. A little foggy out here tonight, so yeah. And this is me going into Melchior's house. It calls him Bosch in this version, because I got a retranslation patch attached. And the retranslation is interesting too, because the original translation is perfectly functional. You can play the whole game with the original translation and it's great, but I wanted to see what they could do if I went with the retranslation, you know? Essentially, it is one of the only RPGs I know that is about time travel, and time travel has always been a topic that is close to my heart. Now, does the time travel make sense in Chrono Trigger? It's more of a loose, timey-wimey type of deal, because there are points where they have like a window of time where, like, for example, a character is killed in the past, and therefore, because their ancestor has been put into a situation where they will never be born, this person disappears, but by recovering them in the right amount of time, then they are able to make it so that person does exist. It's kind of Back to the Future-ish type of deal, where you have like this loose guideline of like you have a little bit of time before it becomes permanent. Does it make sense? And I don't know, man. There's something really magical about this game. And whenever you get into combat, the combats happen on the field, and you're more or less moving around and attacking. You don't really control where your characters move, though. So it's more of when the enemy wanders into like a certain radius, and if your characters happen to move into like the correct pattern, you can do specialized attacks, which is good and bad, because there are times I would love to trigger certain techniques, but my character's in the wrong spot and the enemies are like spread apart, so the range doesn't hit. And it's a very unusual system for the Super Nintendo. It's very, very odd. And yet there are some things about it that always make me sit there and I have to think about it hard. Like, I have to ask myself, why don't we ever want to finish games? Why is it that whenever I play this game, I have so much fun and I get encapsulated by it and I absolutely adore it, and yet I don't want to finish it? I'll go through Frog's story, I'll go through Glenn's story, I'll even get Magus on the team. And yet, when I reach that final hour, or once I hit the Black Dream arc, and I'm able to start completing the game any way I like, doing all the side quests, I just get caught up doing the side quests, and I never finish it. And there are some side quests that you can miss. A lot of the content in this game is missable, which is strange to me. For example, if I jump in the Epoch here, we go over here, and go down to this place, I think I finished this side quest here, where we helped a woman in the past named Fiona, and now she has a temple where this area at the beginning of the game looks like a desert, and now it looks like this. It looks like a majestic grove, and it's interesting to see like how the scars of time actually affect it. Like over here is like the entrance to Magus's castle in the year 600 AD, and yet in this one it's not there. Although now I think about it, the Black Dream is built right on top of that, which, knowing Magus's storyline, that kind of fits in. He was trying to build as close as he could to the Ocean Palace to try to tap into Lavos. And let's talk about Lavos, okay? Lavos is a very strange enemy for these games. Lavos has this presence where it is a undeniable fear throughout the story. He is actually what I would consider a true monster. He doesn't do it because he hates people. Well, he doesn't do it because he despises people. In fact, in this story, humans would have never evolved if Lavos didn't appear. There is an ending you can unlock where I've only seen others post it because, like I said, I've never seen any of the endings, where if you defeat Lavos at a certain point, everybody's a reptile. It's just kind of a comedy ending. And that's also strange too. There are like 20 endings to this game, depending on when do you fight the final boss and what side quests you finished. It's a type of really thoughtful design. But we don't really finish games like this. I mean, I can. Right now, I can jump into the Lavos fight, and I can finish it, but it's like, there was a Japanese author who had a great quote about watching the fireworks at the end of the festival. It might have been Kanoko Nasu, actually. Maybe, but he wrote it in Kagetsu Toya, yeah. And he was talking about watching the fireworks and how sad it is to watch the final fireworks fade away. And I think there's something true about that. Like, the festival is so beautiful, we don't want it to end. We want to be encapsulated in this small pocket of time, this small pocket of place, of memory that we really hold on to. Now, as far as the characters in Chrono Trigger, this is the one thing that people don't realize. There are some characters with more characterization than not. Okay? There are some characters who I would consider actual characters, and some characters I would not. Like, Magus is most definitely a great character because he has a lot of characterization. So is Marla. I believe her name is. She's a fantastic character because you have this side quest that fleshes out her entire thing. But then you have other characters, okay, like Isla. Does Isla really deserve to be on the same tier as the rest of the characters? Honestly, no. I don't think she is. She's fun. She's a great foil, and she has her own storyline, but she's not as in depth about what she is. You have Frog. Frog has one of the most epic, heart-wrenching stories, and you get who Frog is. You get what's her name? Luca. I was trying to say Luca. Yeah, Luca has a really deep storyline as well. But then you have other characters who show up throughout the game who really don't, like the Sages, for example. What are their names? Melchior, Gaspar. They're all named after the three wise men from Ben-Hur. By the way, I don't believe the three wise men ever had their names written in the Bible. I believe that was an addition written in the Ben-Hur novel much later on, which is an interesting point of like how we begin to associate a term from like a fan fiction with an actual person. But still, for me, the weakest character in the game, the one I almost never use, is I don't really use Magus that much, even though I love his story. As a unit, his gameplay, I know he can be busted, but it doesn't really go towards my gameplay. I always ending up with a team that is either, let me see. It's going to be Isla, Chrono, and Luca, or it's going to be using Frog, Marl, and Luca. And those are kind of like the default to go to. Robo, oh, as you can see here, is, well, he's not the most underleveled. Luca's pretty underleveled too. But I never use Robo, really. And I don't know why that is. Is it because he's a robot? He has a story, but it's really not that deep. It's more of, we gave him a story because everybody else has a story. That, and he rickrolls you every time. Maybe that's why I avoid it, as somebody who encountered the internet in the very beginning. Like, it's hard to really encapsulate my thoughts on Chrono Trigger. When I first played it, I was a kid, and I was using an emulator. And I remember, well, I guess some things haven't changed, right? This is just an emulator device, after all. This is the end of time. Do you see it? Yeah, a little bit of recursive shot. The screen can be very reflective. And there is something so captivating about the time travel theme. It really just grips you and holds you there. But at the same time, you have to pull yourself back from it and really start to think, can I truly let this go? And I don't know why, but there's something that makes me never want to complete it. I probably will eventually, one of these days, but every time I reach the Black Dream, I always end up stopping. And there's still a lot of games I'm like this on. I'll get to like the final arc, the final part where there's like 2 dungeons to, and then I'm just like, well, I'm done. And I've played enough. I have fun with this game. I love this game. But for some reason, I don't want to finish it. And I think there's something true to that. I think a lot of people do this. In fact, you who is watching right now probably have things like this, like books you've half read that you said, I'm going to finish this. You probably have the games you've played through most of the way. Things you were writing, building, doing, and then you just stop. Because there's a fear that once it's finished, will the fireworks fade? Will the glimmer of hope disappear? Will the joy be done when you close the book? But if that's how you feel, perhaps it's time to close the book. To me, Chrono Trigger will always be one of these games that is more like a fairy tale. Oh, it is like, it's charming. It's like mythology. It's invigorating. And yet, I don't think I will ever truly reach the point where I'm going to say, I am going to sit down and complete this game 100%. In the future, I probably will get one ending, and that will be great. I had a lot of fun with a lot of the story arcs in it. There's an entire dinosaur arc. The entire bit about Lavos is so captivating that this thing that is going to result in the end of the world is the only reason that mankind exists in the first place. And I think that's fascinating. That's a strange thought process. That the very same thing we want to resist, that we should hate, that we should despise, it doesn't hate us. It's just a force of nature. It's doing what it does because it must do what it does. And yet we have to stop it. But if it did not exist in the first place, we would not exist. I know I'm talking in a circular loop right now. It's a little hard to get my thoughts together on this game because this game encapsulates so many different ideas. You have duty and sacrifice. You have like the 2 most shallow characters, I would say, have to be Marl and Robo. No, it would be Robo and Isla. Even Marl has more depth. But even Isla has some depth, don't get me wrong. It's just, I get it. You know what I mean? And it's kind of funny that these 2 characters are from the polar opposite ends of the time spectrum. One is from the prehistory and one is from the end of history. And I think that's something interesting too. That this idea that in the beginning we were nothing and we were very primitive, and in the end we become primitive in a different sense. Alright guys, thank you very much for watching Car Chat. I hope you have a good night.